And welcome back to the Mindful Model Maker. This evening, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start painting this little desktop railway. So this desktop railway is what fits onto that big railway that I showed you, or the bigger one. And yeah, I'm just painting the sleepers at the moment, because then what I will do is I will stick the ballast in between. I should paint the sides of the rails as well. So the idea, this is just an acrylic. It's just my cheap the works acrylic paints, which I use because to be honest, painting on this type of thing is quite good. So I can just paint the wood. Doesn't matter really about the thickness, because it's going to have grass round, ballast in the middle, various bits. So you only really need to paint the top bit of it. You can see now that I have painted this. I haven't really done any weathering on it yet, and I've made the driver his little tea can there, which obviously that is the little I think it's a 9 horsepower unit, and of course that will help to keep it warm. So yeah, I would imagine that he's probably put something underneath it to stop it from slipping off. Otherwise, I can imagine with the vibrations and how smooth this kind of track would be in real life, they would probably slip off. But anyway, I just put it on there. For the moment, I've got to paint it. Again, that's another thing that I see advertised on eBay. They are resin. No, I think they're 3D printed actually, so they're not resin, they're 3D printed. And yeah, it's, if you can get those little things and put them there. I've got one or two other bits and pieces, some tools and oil cans, a bit like I did on the other Hudson loco that I built. There is another loco which I would probably build to go on this railway actually, because the only difference is obviously is the gauging of the wheels. So you can see it doesn't take long to get the sleepers painted like so. And the good thing about the 3D printed stuff, it does cover quite well. I've never had a problem with putting acrylic paint on. The paint on here, by the way, that is oil-based Humbrol enamels. Not quite sure what number that is. A matte colour that. It's more of a kind of a rusty metally colour, and it's matte 83, and that's Revell actually, that one. So that's what that colour is. And the green is just a matte 76, and that is a Humbrol colour. So if it's a job to know what to do. I look for pictures for that particular loco, and as of yet I haven't found any. If anyone knows where there are any old photos or whatever, then it'd be nice just to see one and see what colour it was. But I mean, it'd be something very similar to that, I would imagine, and it would look dented and bashed, I would imagine, as well. So I will weather that up a little bit. I shan't go too mad, but yeah, I like things to look as natural as I can get them. So anyway, it doesn't take long, does it, to get this sleeper colour in. And then what I'll probably do is paint some kind of greyish colour on the baseboard underneath, and then put the ballast over the top, just using my normal technique. Just pour a little bit in, and then probably use the same as you would with 00 or any other gauge if you were ballasting. Lay the ballast in, and then come along with a syringe full of a liquid PVA with a little teeny bit of washing up liquid in it, and then that soaks in, and usually that's strong enough to hold the ballast. So anyway, we're getting over there. I'm going to push the loco now back out to the side as we're coming round. A little bit of water in this. So yeah, So a little bit perhaps boring for you tonight to sit and watch this, but this is how we're going to progress this railway on. And then I would like to perhaps take this one to the club this week just to show them what's going on, because I take all sorts of things and I think they wonder sometimes what on earth it is I'm making half the time, because I mean, the very first time I went, I took the Gauge 1 cab of the Class 33 that I'm building, which you'll probably see a bit more of soon, because I'm going to progress the Gauge 1 loco on a bit more, because I have all of the radio control gear for that now, and we'll have a few test runs. Obviously it won't be finished, but I've got to make, I need the kit really to see where it's going to fit in there, so that you really got to buy all of it. It's not a cheap project. I mean, I knew that the loco was going to cost me the best part of $1,000 to build, so I wasn't too worried about that, because the thing is with that loco, the fact that you can't buy it off the shelf, Gauge 1 ready to run. You can only buy it if somebody's built one and selling it. If not, you have to build it yourself. I don't know of any Class 33s that are built Gauge 1 off the shelf. There may be, but I haven't seen any. And I've only seen a couple of the one I'm building. So, and they're either prototypes running, testing different motor units and all the rest of it. But I've used the Fosworth motors and bogies, because they probably are about the best that you're going to get. And I've got the overlays to glue on. There's quite a bit I've got to do to it. I mean, I've even got Gauge 1 controls as well for it that somebody 3D printed. They did them for the Lima O gauge, and then they went on and did them for me for the Gauge 1. A little bit of filing and fiddling around to fit, but I will have actual copy of the real thing control wise, so it's all going to add to the value of it, I hope anyway. Right, so we've done the sleepers around that bit like that. I'm not going to worry too much about that bit at the moment. I will concentrate on that a little bit later. I would like to just get this circuit in the middle. So we've done that. I washed the brush off a bit, and then we need a kind of a grey colour to go inside of the track. So we need to find where the black tube went, which I know where it went because it's there. Oh, look, its T-cans fell off already. It hasn't even moved yet. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would really make you happy, that would. Right, so there's the black. Bit of white. And I use lots of this acrylic stuff because it's cheap and it's easy to mix. You can vary the colour, you can make it lighter, darker, whatever it is you want to do. So this is going in here like so, just so that it has a base, and then when we put the stone in on top, you'll see what it's going to look like. So I'll just put a bit more in here like that. This is just to cover up the wood. I don't expect the person that built this for one moment would ever think that it would be done like this. I don't know, really. Don't know the person. It was just a purchase off eBay. I see it on there and I just had to have it. I thought, because I thought I could do something really useful with that. If somebody's gone to that effort to make a really nice board, then it deserves to be turned into something. So it's a little bit black, that one, but like I say, it's not really going to notice. It's quite easy to just fill in these areas like so. and you don't have to be too thing about it. So because we're going to cover it with a stone, so there we are. So we've got a little bit of paint in there like so, which is quite good. Then we can just water that down a little bit like that, get a little bit more. I will have a look to see if I've got some ballast, and I'll just show you then what that's going to look like in there. Just to give you an idea of what I'm building and what I'm doing. So there we are. Just pick his tea can up. You never know, you might want a drink while he's watching me paint the track. You don't know, do you? Anyway, that's the tea can. I'm just going to have a look over here to see if this is the ballast. I'm hoping it is. It is indeed. It's a coarse grey ballast. And this is it. I think this is something I got bought off of eBay when I built another railway some time ago, during the lockdown I think it was. So I'll just sprinkle a bit of that like so, and I can just pop that in to where it needs to go. That's it. Then all I can do later on is come along with a little bit of PVA in a syringe and just pour that in. And I'll put a little bit, probably paint a little bit on the outside. And you can see there the track beginning to perhaps look, and it doesn't take long, so it's not really going to take that long to do this. And don't forget, this is a narrow gauge railway, so it's not going to be pristine like the mainline railway is, because you know, a lot of this would be really rickety. If any of you have ever been on these kinds of railways, that's what I like about them. So I'll just put that in there like so. So it doesn't matter about waiting for the paint to dry or anything like that. You can just get on with this. And that's the thing I like. You haven't got to be too finicky about anything really on it. So that's it. So we're starting to get some ballast on our track, making it start to look like the real thing. So there we are. It's quite good actually, because where the rail join, where the sleepers join, there where my fingernail is, because they're too hard, it looks like the wooden sleepers have split, which is quite good. That's quite authentic. That's it. Pop a little bit down in there. Don't want a lot, but just a little bit down in. Don't want it built up too much near the rail edge, because the flange, what I'd probably do is run that loco round before I do actually glue the ballast, just to make sure the flange is not going to ride on the top of the ballast, because obviously the rails are not very deep. So we'll have a look at that before we actually start to run it all. But anyway, so there we are. In a few minutes we've painted all of the sleepers and we've put ballast in between the track. You can see where my finger's rubbing across that is taking some of the brown off, which is not too bad, because that's putting that down. We can weather up the sleepers a little bit more as we go along later on. Don't have to be perfect. So anyway, there we are. That's what I do to do the sleepers and put the ballast. And then, like I say, I have some syringes. I will mix up a little drop of, you don't have to use a syringe, just get a little teaspoon or so, but you put the washing up liquid in it, because it breaks like the surface tension, because otherwise what happens, it kind of bubbles and sits in the middle. you want it to go down in and run out, and then it will stick the ballast. If you've done this, then I'm you know, not telling you anything you don't know, but if you've never done it before, you need to break the surface tension of the mixture, and that's what the washing up liquid does. So there we are. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. If you like this video, then obviously give it a like. If you want to subscribe so you can see what else is going on, there's going to be lots of different things going on during the year. I've made these in a previous video, so there'll be a little platform there that will be all weathered up, and then you've got this shed type building which is going to go there. Yeah, so this is the little tiny desktop railway with a little bit of scenery starting to be added to it. So anyway, there we are. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye now.